What is up, dudes, lady fellas? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. It's really late. It's like 3 a.m. I really need to be going to bed soon, but I just saw this news here and I want to make a video on it. I promise you guys I want to be on top of news, so I'm going to make this video regardless. But we have some more stuff confirmed for Rising Rampage. We have the first wave of Aoi and Aqua's new theme arrives. Straight from her duel against Haru. So I guess this is a character from Link of Reigns, and her archetype is actually getting released here. So we'll see. They look appealing, we'll say. So alright, let's just jump right into it. So this is like a Water Cybers deck. We're going to start with Marincess Seahorse. Marincess, maybe? Marincess. That's what it is. Level 3 Water Cybers effect monster, 1400, 1000. You can only special summon one card with this card's name, with the way written in its first effect once per turn, and the second effect is hard once per turn as well. You can special summon this card from your hand to your zone, and a Marincess monster you control points to. So I guess we're going to get some links here, and so you just drop this, kind of like a Crusadia monster, you can just drop it to any zone a Marincess points to. Also, during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon one water monster from your hand to a zone a Marincess monster you control points to. Okay, so she kind of helps with the maneuvering of the deck. She gets herself in a zone, and then when she's in grave, she helps get stuff out of your hand. Hopefully, they have good ways to get stuff to hand so that she can help maneuver that onto the field. But we'll see. We also have Marincess Sea Star, which is a level 2 Water Cybers effect monster, 800 attack, 400 defense. You can only use this card's name's effect up to twice per turn. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target one Marincess monster you control. It gains 800 attack until the end of the turn. It's a hand trap. It's not a quick effect. It's 800 attack. Yeah, this card's interesting. I think surrounded with the right other cards in the archetype, this card could actually be pretty good, but we'll see. And then we have some Link monsters. So we start with the first one, Marincess Blue Slug, very cute. Link 1 Water Cybers, 1500. Takes any level 4 lower Marincess monster. Okay, so it's not generic in any way. You can only be Link summoned once per turn. Has to be if it's going to be a Link 1. If this card is Link summoned, you can target one Marincess monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except for water monsters. Okay, I'm into that, because if they end up getting like an actual like searcher, you literally could search something, like normal summon, search something, link it away, and get that card back to your hand reloaded for next turn. I'm into that. I like this card. It's pretty basic, but I dig it. Then we also have Marincess Coral Anemone. There, a Link 2 Water Cybers. Takes any 2 water monsters. Now we're interesting. Now we're looking at something interesting here. 2000 attack, which is also pretty decent. Both effects are hard once per turn. You can target one water monster with 1500 or less attack in your graveyard and special summon it to your zone this Link monster points to. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except for water monsters. This is straight up paleo support. This is like straight up paleo support. It takes any 2 water monsters, you make this, and then you can just revive frogs. That's pretty spicy. That's pretty spicy. Okay. I like it. I dig it a lot. Second effect, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one Marincess monster in your graveyard except Marincess Coral Anemone and add it to your hand. Okay, I wonder if there's any synergy between Marincess or whatever, if there will be synergy between them and Paleos. We'll see. This card's pretty interesting, though. You could even make, like, Mistar Boy and then do a Mistar Boy into another water monster, or with another water monster just to make this, and then from there, you just revive Mistar Boy. Then they're like 25, 19. There's 4,400 damage. Pretty spicy. This card is interesting. I'm really interested in this as a person who really loves Paleos. We'll see if this card has any value as well. Then we have a Link 3. We have Marincess Marbled Rock. This one's a little more badass looking. So like a lot of spikes all over. 2,500 attack, so pretty big. The arrows are okay, down and left and right. Same thing. I didn't say it here, but it's down and left, and then a down arrow for the Link 1. The Link 1 is 1,500 attack. That's actually decent. Okay. This takes 2+ water monsters, generic again for waters, and the first effects are hard once per turn. You can target one marine cess card in your graveyard, except for yourself, and add it to your hand. Just once per turn. That's pretty good. And when an opponent's monster clears an attack, you can send one marine cess monster from your hand to the graveyard, and then monsters cannot be destroyed by that battle. Also, you take no damage from that. Okay, that's interesting little battle. It doesn't negate, but essentially it might as well be negating the battle because there's no damage and nobody's being destroyed. So not bad. I think pretty interesting. I think these link monsters are setting up a tight core. We will see how many other monsters. This one's a solid monster. I don't like this one that much, but we'll see where they end up going from there. And we have a couple trap cards, looks like. Yep, Marine Cess Wave, a normal trap. If you control a Link 3 or higher Marine Cess monster, you can activate this card from your hand. Okay. If you control a Marine Cess Link monster, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn. In addition, if you control a Link 2 or higher Marine Cess monster, all face-up monsters you control become unaffected by your opponent's card effects until the end of the turn. Alright, that's an interesting hand trap. All you need is any Marine Cess monster, and then this is a hand trap, essentially an infinite impermanence, but also with a protection effect. This card's interesting, especially if it becomes really searchable, plus this Link 3 can just add it back to hand once per turn. This archetype's got an interesting core. It's really gonna come down to the monsters, the main deck monsters, where this archetype actually ends up going, but decent so far. And then we also have Marine Cess Current, a normal trap card. You can only activate one per turn. If you control a Link 3 or higher Marine Cess monster, you can activate this card from your hand. When a Marine Cess Link monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to 400 times the Link rating, the monster you control's Link rating. In addition, if you control a Link 2 or higher monster, and the opponent's monster that was destroyed was a Link monster, inflict damage equal to the opponent's monster's Link rating times 500. So not good. This card's not good. It just deals extra damage. It's a win more card. If you're winning in the battle phase like this, you probably don't need this card. You're probably going to win the duel in a couple turns anyway if you're really dominating the battle phase like that. But this card is interesting. This card is interesting. This card is really interesting. This card's interesting. Not good. And this one. So we've got 5 pretty tight core cards, and we'll see where they go from there. We also have a single card that isn't really part of an archetype, but it's a new Dino. It's actually pretty good, or not good, but interesting. From Rising Rampage. It's called Beat Raptor. Level 4 Earth Dino. So, classic Dino stuff. 1400 attack, 2000 defense. Weirdly decent stats. Obviously the attack's not that great, but 2000 defense. Weirdly good. And its second effect is a hard once per turn. While this card is in the main monster zone, really the only monster zone it would be in, negate the effects of all monsters in the extra monster zones. What? Just negate all monsters in the extra monster zone. That's actually crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. Dinosaurs don't really use the extra monster zone, so this could be pretty interesting, just playing into certain decks that maybe have a monster in that extra monster zone that negates something, and you just summon it, and that's just turned off. And then also, if this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon one Beat Raptor from your deck, another one, which is pretty interesting as well. So if your opponent wants to out this, it shouldn't be by battle, because you're just going to get him back again. Really interesting card. I don't know how good he will end up being, but I think given the right meta and given certain decks that are at the top of the meta, we could see this card kind of be relevant as a side deck card, kind of like Denko Sekka against a lot of back row decks, something like that. Now we also have a new Salamangre card we'll see. Takaru. Premature Burial for Fire decks is finally released in Rising Rampage. Okay, be careful. This card is always treated as a Salamangre card called Rising Fire. Interesting. Salamangres are the best deck in the game right now. More support. Both effects are hard once per turn. If you control no monsters, activate this card by targeting one fire monster in your graveyard and special summon that monster. And if you do, equip this card to it, it gains 500 attack, and when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. If this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can banish one monster on the field. Okay, so we have sort of a premature burial, but you have to control no monsters. That's the biggest stipulation. And also, when this card leaves the field, you destroy the monster. So there are some things, but also when this card leaves the field, if this card's destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you get to just banish one monster on the field. So there is some potential to punish your opponent for removing this card. I think it's okay. Maybe this is a one of in Salamangreats. I don't think it's that bad. I don't know. You know, again, it's a lot of when I do these news videos is right off the top of my head. I'm reading them for the first time, so it's like, in theory they sound decent, but in practice they might not be as good. But as a one of, maybe this is just a card that if you can search it or send it and then bring it back with Sunlight Wolf and then activate it to just revive something, but you'd have a monster after that. See, the problem with this card is you have to have no monsters, and do you really put Salamangreats in the grave before like you would activate this and have no monsters still? Yeah, I'm gonna say this card's probably not gonna be played. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's that bad. I think if you were able to use this without having no monsters on the field, I think it'd be way more interesting. But this archetype is definitely super interesting. Marincess. We'll see where they go. But kind of hyped for this, actually. Pretty strong 5-card core so far, and we'll see where they go from here, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts on any of these cards. I'm really interested, especially on the new archetype. Beat Raptor's interesting. This card's interesting, but I don't think it has quite enough value for Salamangreats. They already have like Will, which is like soul charge, so why do they need a revival like equip spell? They don't. But yeah, like I said, let me know, guys, if you enjoyed the video and you have not yet. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel because I'm keeping up on news as it comes out. As soon as I can, I'm getting those videos out. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.